All right, in the last lesson, we talked about ratios. All right, today we're going to talk about ratios and proportions. Okay, a ratio, remember, is just simply a comparison of two quantities that use division, and it can be written as A to B, A semicolon B, which is still read as A to B, or A over B, which is also read as A to B. A proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equal. All right, so that could be like A to B is equal to C to D. All right, if we're using letters, all right, using variables. Now, there's a simple thing called a cross product that we use to determine if the proportions or if the ratios are equal. If the ratios are not in proportion, the cross products are not equal. So in other words, a cross product would be, in this case, would be A times D is equal to B times C. So if they are equal, then it's a proportion. If they're not equal, it's not a proportion. If you look down here, the examples, they actually use numbers. 6 times 12 and 8 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. 6 times 12 is 72. So 6 over 8 is equal to 9 over 12. That's a proportion. Okay. 2 to 15, okay, is 30. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, so that's a proportion. 1 times 7 is 7. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 is not the same thing as 7. And 2 times 12 is 24. 5 times 5 is 25. 24 is close to, but it's not the same as 25. So one of the things that we look at here is what's the first ratio multiplied by to produce the second ratio. That's another thing we look at. So the thing is, we look at 2 times what is 16? Well, we know that 2 times 8 is 16. So we're going to go 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. So the first ratio is multiplied by 8 over 8. All right, and if you notice, 8 over 8 is the same thing as multiplying by 1. So we're not changing anything. All right, so it's multiplied by 8 over 8. And you can't just say just 8 because we're multiplying both the numerator or the top and the bottom by 8. So it has to be 8 over 8. So this says, are the two ratios proportional? Well, easy peasy. Let's just cross multiply. So we're going to say 6 times 10, okay? So 6 times 10, is that equal to 4 times 15, all right? Well, 6 times 10 is 60. 4 times 15, if you don't know what 4 times 15 is, we just plug it into the calculator. 4 times 15, which is also equal to 60. So are these two ratios proportional? Yes, they are. All right. So a mixture of fuel for a certain small engine should be 4 parts gas to 1 part oil. So that would be what we call a 4-to-1 mixing ratio. Okay, it's 4 parts gas to 1 part oil. All right, if you combine 5 quarts of oil, okay, if you combine 5 quarts of oil with 15 quarts of gas, will the mixture be correct? In other words, will it be proportional? Now remember, this is 15 gas goes on top, and 5 oils, okay, on the bottom. Well, so we can just cross multiply. We can say 4 times 5, is that equal to 1 times 15? Well, 4 times 5 is 20, and 1 times 15 is 15. So no, that is not the same. And if you use that mixture for the gasoline and run that small engine, you will damage your small engine. All right. Are the two ratios proportional? Well, 5 times 4, is that equal to 10 times 2? Okay, remember, this is cross multiplication, all right, to check it. Okay, 5 times 4 is 20, 10 times 2 is 20, so that would be yes, they are proportional. A mixture for a certain brand of tea should be 3 parts tea. Okay, so I'm going to put tea to sugar. Okay, tea to sugar. Okay, so the 3 parts tea to 1 part sugar. Is that the same thing as 4 tablespoons of sugar? So sugar goes on the bottom, 4 tablespoons of sugar with 12 tablespoons of tea. Well, when we cross multiply, we're going to say 3 times 4. We're going to see if that's proportional. 3 times 4 and 1 times 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 times 12 is 12. So yes, that would be the correct mixture. The ratio of boys to girls in a soccer league is 5 to 4. Here's the important part. Boys comes first in this ratio, so boys goes with a 5. Okay, so boys, the ratio is boys to girls. All right, so when we do that, it's 5 part boys to 4 girls. And if there are 52 boys in the league, how many girls are there? Well, we don't know. So we're just going to actually let's use, instead of using an X, let's use G for girls. Okay? So what we do here is we start using some of that algebra that we've learned in the past, and we're going to cross multiply. Okay? I always like to multiply the cross product that includes the variable. So that would be 5 times G, or 5G is equal to 4 times 52. All right? Well, 5G is, and 4 times 52 is 208. And if you want to use the calculator, you can do that. All right? And then we're going to divide by 5. We're going to divide by 5 on both sides. Cancel out the 5. So the girls would be, and I'm going to use a calculator for this one. So it's going to be 208 divided by 5 is 41.6. Now, here's the thing. You cannot have a 0.6 person, all right? So how many girls would there be? There would be 41 girls, okay? Because you can't have a 0.6 person, and you can't add 0.4 persons to make it 42. So it'd be 41 girls, all right? The ratio of cats to dogs at a kennel is 3 to 2, all right? Once again, same type of thing. Cats, okay, because cats comes first, to dogs, all right, is 3 to 2, all right? If there are 48 dogs, you notice that I write the ratio down, okay, and I write the units down, cats to dogs. So here's why, because there are 48 dogs, okay? So the 48 comes on the bottom. Okay, and the C for the cats goes up on top. Once again, I multiply the cross multiplication with the variable, so that is 2C is equal to 3 times 48. All right? Obviously, the 2C just comes down. 3 times 48, all right? 3 times 48 is 144. Okay, so there's 144, and then we divide by 2. Divide everything by 2. Cats. Okay, so the number of cats is 144 divided by 2, which is 72 if I'm not mistaken. So 144 divided by 2 is 72. Okay, so there are 72 cats. All right. All right. And that is it for this lesson. So make sure that you fully understand how to write and solve and check for proportions. And if you don't, make sure you ask me questions. Make sure you copy those notes down at the beginning of the lesson. And we will talk to y'all later on.